Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. My name is Oluchiimoh, and on this channel I talk about cake business and I share tips on how you can take your cake business from 0 to 100. I'm an international award-winning cake artist that is based in Manchester, United Kingdom, and you're welcome to my channel. Just in case you're seeing my beautiful face for the first time, and if you've always been here, thank you so much as well for always being here. Thank you so much for the birthday wishes, the prayers, your kindness, the thoughts, the beautiful messages you shared. It's so heartwarming and I am so grateful. Thank you for celebrating with me. Pardon me if you can hear, I am under the weather, feeling poorly, but I just decided to show up because I have not been able to film a video in a couple of days, and I thought to just quickly pop up, share something with you all. So please pardon me, I can't talk more than this and I sound a little hoarse, but it's fine. I'm sure you can hear me loud and clear. In today's video, I want to talk about how to get the best from your recipes. Now, what inspired this video? I came across a post, and I've seen it a couple of times, where people bake and they do not get the same results. They bake and they do not get the same results as their teacher. They do not get the same results as has been put out online or wherever they got the result from. Like in instances where they attended a baking class, they do not get the same result that the teacher got, or they do not get close to the result that the teacher got. Now, this is why your recipes fail. Now, I'm going to be talking about why your recipes fail and how to get the best out of your cake recipes for those of you that are bakers. Now, if there's something you're interested in, you want to be able to get the best out of your recipes, you need to get something to eat, drink, relax, and I'll be right back. And you're welcome back. Now, the first thing I'm going to be talking about is what you need to do, how to get the best out of your cake recipes, or why your recipes fail, is that you're not following your recipes to the T. You're not following your recipes all the way. You're not dotting your I's and you're not crossing your T's. So if the recipe calls for specific things, make sure that you're not doing what your mind tells you to do. You're actually following through with the recipes. For example, your recipe could say room temperature eggs, or make sure your butter is at room temperature. Make sure that it is actually at room temperature. Don't bring it 30 minutes to when you want to bake, 20 minutes to when you want to bake out of the fridge. You're not going to get the same result. So make sure that you're following your recipes to the T. If it says measure 2 cups of flour, make sure that you're measuring 2 cups of flour. And even if you're converting, that you're getting the equivalent in grams. For example, the person uses cups and you do not have cups as well, use a Google converter. I've had cases where I put out recipes and people are asking me what it is in grams. I'll just simply tell you to go to Google and convert. This is what a Google converter looks like. So you put out the recipe. For example, the recipe has called for 2 cups and you do not have 2 cups. You want to know what it is in grams, or you have a digital scale and the recipe has said use 2 cups and you want to know what it is. What you need to do is just go insert the figures on the converter, or in the converter on Google, and it will just do the math for you, and you're able to figure that out and then use the recipe to the best of your ability. So please make sure that you're dotting all I's and you're crossing all T's, and you're following the recipe to the latter. You're following everything as stated. The second thing I'll say is this: you're making mistakes in your recipe. So if you make mistakes, you definitely would not come up with the same recipe. Now, what you want to do, how to get the best out of your recipe, is to do the bain-marie method. No. It's to do the mise-en-place method. It's to use the mise-en-place method. Sometimes I don't follow this religiously, but I find out that it helps. It helps you with measuring right. It helps you with also saving time. So you save your time if you do that. I'm going to put the name on the screen just in case you've not heard this, or you're coming across this for the first time. This is what it is, and it's simply measuring your ingredients, all of them, ahead of time. Now, when you put your butter and sugar in the mixer and you're trying to rush up and to do other things, you tend to make mistakes. If you're not very careful, if you're not meticulous, you can make mistakes. So I think one thing that can help with one thing that can help you with getting the best out of your cake recipes and make you bake right so that your recipes don't fail is to measure out your ingredients. Measure them out: your milk, your egg, your buttermilk, everything that you need. Measure it out so that you're not rushing to put the eggs and overbeating. Maybe you're trying to, the butter has been beaten for a while and you're trying to measure your egg, you're rushing so that you put it in the, it just makes everything, you can easily make mistakes. So the best thing to do is to measure your ingredients right. Make sure that you're converting right, like I mentioned earlier. Convert right and use the right measurements for your baking. The third thing is this: use up-to-date ingredients. This goes to affect any other thing you do. So if you're using baking powder that stayed in your cupboard, in your box, or wherever you keep you store it, wherever you store it that stayed there for a while, just best believe that it must have lost some of its potency. If it's out, like, just make sure that you're using ingredients that are up to date, is what I'm just trying to say. I believe that this point is clear and simple. For me, I've had people who have trained, taught my fondant recipe. Those people have enrolled in classes, and they come back and say, oh, this is what happened, I didn't get this as a result. Some would do it and get the results right off the bat, but some would do and say, oh, it was not sticking together, it was not this, it was not that. And I go ahead to ask, because I know the recipe that I have, I know the quality of the fondant recipe that I have, that I use, even my cakes, I know the quality of my recipes. So I go ahead to ask, because I like to troubleshoot with my students. Okay, what did you do? Walk me through how, if you've taken my class before, I'll tell you, walk me through how you measured it. What were the ingredients you used? Are they up to date? Did you check on all of that and all of that? And in a few of those cases, I found out that the recipe or the ingredients used was out of date. So if you're using an ingredient that is it's past the best before date use, best believe that you're not going to get the best outcome. I've also had a personal experience of using eggs that were not fresh. I bought eggs to use for my baking, and it affected my cake. It did not come out well. I had to bake again a second time, and I think I had to bake a third time. It was at some point I realized, I think the egg is the problem, because we walked through all our ingredients, we were troubleshooting, and we found out that these eggs are not the best. So we had to buy from somewhere else and bake again, and obviously that affected my timeline. I was not able to meet up with the delivery. I delivered, but I delivered late. So please make sure that you're using fresh ingredients and ingredients that are up to date if you want to get the best results out of your cake recipes. Now, the first thing is this: you want to make sure that you're following and listening to what the teacher says or how it's described. You read the fine lines, like you read and you listen. If you're enrolled for classes, make sure that you're following what the teacher is saying. Now, for me personally, I like to use visual representations. So I'll say beat until it has doubled in size, beat until it is light and fluffy, beat until it looks creamy like ice cream. Words like that, you want to look out for that, because if I were to say I'm beating on high speed for 5 minutes, your mixer doesn't have the same capacity as my mixer. It does not have the same capacity as the mixer of your colleague or the other person here that is mixing. So I feel that this is more effective. That is just a me thing, it's just a personal thing. But feel free to work whatever works for you. If the person has said beat for this number of minutes, make sure that you're beating for that number of minutes. Beat for 10 minutes on high speed. Beat for 10 minutes on high speed. If it's another person that has said, or another baker or your teacher has said, beat until it has doubled in size, make sure that you're beating until it has doubled in size. If they say beat until you can no longer feel the sugar granules, beat until you can no longer feel the sugar granules. Okay, so whatever it is, make sure that you're following the recipe, the visual representations, or the timing, the duration that has been given for this recipe. That way you get the best. And then the teacher has said, with regards to measurements, I would have mentioned this in the beginning, but with regards to measurements, if it's 1 heaped tablespoon, make sure that it is heaped. If it says 1 level teaspoon, make sure that it is leveled. For me, my recipes are always leveled. I don't have cause to heap them. And I don't know why it's heaped always, but definitely a recipe is a recipe. But my recipes are usually just leveled, and it doesn't say it's heaped and everything. But if the recipe says it's a heaped 1 cup of flour, heaped, make sure that you're heaping it as well. Okay, I believe that this Now the next thing, oh sorry, the sun is out. Now the next thing I'm going to be talking about is using the same ingredients as your teacher uses. Now, this is not as easy as it sounds, because not everybody would want to share that information online. Not everybody wants to give that free publicity. Not everybody will be willing to, even if it's not giving free publicity, which obviously it is. Not everybody wants to do that when they're not getting paid, and not everybody has the time to be sharing what they use. So the best bet is to enroll for a class. Now, if you enroll for a class, you have the access, you have the privilege to ask your teacher, okay, what ingredients can I use? What's the brand? And if you're within the same vicinity, you're within the same location, not vicinity, you're within the same location, country, and you have these ingredients accessible, you can get them. If you do not have them, you can check on Amazon if you can get them, because this is one way I feel is close to achieving what your teacher gets, or what the recipe calls for, or what the end result of the person that has taught you looks like, make sure that you're using almost the same brand, or the same brand if possible, if you can. Okay, like I said, not everybody will come and put out that advert, free advert. It's a free ad. If I come here and tell you this is the brand that I use, it's a free ad, and I'm not getting paid, I'm not getting the change, I'm not getting the money. So what do you want to do? If you can, enroll for a class and also ask your teacher. I believe they'll be willing to share. And when they do this, you can also get the same kind of or brand of ingredients that they use to help you with achieving good results with your cake. So if you're doing trial and error, trying different recipes online, it's tasking trying recipes. I don't know if anybody finds it so, but I find it tasking trying different recipes. And I'm not a recipe collector. I don't store. I'm not trying everything. I'm not just all over the place collecting recipe. I have like 6 vanilla recipes, 4 red velvet recipes, 3 coconut cake recipes, 5 fruit cake recipes. What am I doing all the recipes? So I just work with what works. Okay, I have a list of recipes that work, that quality, that have been working over the years for me, and that's just good to go. If not for the recent, I'm trying to tweak and then try new things. But please make sure that you're enrolling for a class. Learn from a pro, and when you're there, learn to ask questions in the class and make sure that you get good value for your money. Now, these are the ways that you can. One thing I missed out is also the baking temperature, which is very important. I remember enrolling for a class one time and the recipe did not ask me to steam. I, as a baker, I like to steam bake my cakes. If you don't know what steam baking is, I'm going to link a video for you so that you can watch that video and understand. But I like to steam bake my cakes. I always do that. I always steam bake my cakes. But I learned one time a recipe. I once learned a recipe and the recipe did not call for steam baking. I was about putting water in the pan in my oven, and I said, first of all, like I would advise people that enroll for my class, first of all, do it the way the teacher did it. Bake the way the teacher baked. Don't start asking for substitutes. Don't start doing your own thing. Bake and get the result. And then if you feel that you want to tweak it, you want to change, you want to substitute, then you can do it. But to get the same result, that's another thing I feel I should mention. Don't start substituting. If it says double cream, use double cream. Except the teacher has said you can substitute with this. Don't try substituting on your own. You would end up most likely not getting the same results. So back to my story. I wanted to put water to steam bake that cake, and I said to myself, this recipe did not ask you to steam bake. Do it the way the teacher has done it, and then see what results you will get. And I just changed my mind. I did not add water to the pan anymore. I went ahead to bake it without steam baking, and it came out fantastic. It came out well as well. So this is one thing you want to do. Stick to the baking temperature. Stick to everything that the teacher has said. And then if you feel you want to try, do mix and match, substitute and everything, then you can go ahead to substitute. But don't from the get-go, you get a recipe that says evaporated milk, or use buttermilk, or use regular milk, and then you're going to do what was not stated in the recipe. Please, these are the things that I feel make your cake fail. Not doing or sticking to these rules. And following these rules are just the ways that you can make your cake recipes work and get the best from it. I believe that this video has been of great help to you. If it was, please let me know in the comments, discuss with me, give me your feedback. I really appreciate them. Don't forget to hit the like button as well, and also subscribe to my channel. Until I see you in my next video, stay happy, stay safe, and stay blessed. Bye.